Before we begin this episode, we want to give a content warning to our listeners. Today's discussion will include sensitive topics that some may find offensive or triggering. If these subjects may be triggering or upsetting for you, we encourage you to prioritize your well being and decide whether or not to listen. Take care of yourself, and thank you for being here.
What'd you say? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon,
Yeah.
fellow listeners. I just want to take a minute to say that this podcast includes sexual and physical abuse. So if those are your triggers, please take care of yourself and decide whether or not you're going to listen.
Okay, fair enough. You're listening to the Hot Topics podcast with Psycho 4081, the lovely Lady Lamb Chop, and the fabulous Thelonious Feather. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, this is Psycho 4081 for the Hot Topics podcast. I'm here with my lovely Lady Lamb Chop. How you doing today?
I'm well. How you doing? It's beautiful outside today.
It is. It's Memorial Day weekend, so hope everybody's out there having a good time.
Now, I could get them confused. Memorial Day is for the soldiers we lost?
Yes.
Okay, so thank you for your service and thank your family for your service, and
Yes.
we're sorry that we lost you.
Yes, and the official day is Monday, and just to let you guys know, the banks are gonna be closed, most of them, and the post office. So go out there and have some fun. So, but
I
anyway,
gotta shampoo my dog. That's gonna be my fun.
somebody Pastor Dirty said you can't thank the dead.
Well, I thank their families.
All right, so today we have two guests coming in. We have Paul, and we have our Pastor Dirty's coming back finally. We got him back on online. For this episode, we're going to talk about the Shannon Sharpe incident and how it relates. The question came up, when does age matter in relationships?
Okay.
And it kicked off because
Oh, so I'm outnumbered today. We have Pastor Dirty and you and what was that?
I just recorded on the, because I'm gonna start putting some of these on YouTube
Okay.
with the video. So yeah, you're outnumbered. There's no
Okay.
ladies here today, even though they was invited. I guess they got scared.
Whatever. I'm gonna hold it down for you ladies.
But yeah, the question was a valid question about the dynamics of relationships when it comes to age, and I asked the question to quite a few people, and everybody gave different answers.
Really?
Yes, they did. I was more interested to know what some of the women would say, but they were less forthcoming.
Really?
Yeah. So we'll
I'm surprised at that.
you have to hold the torch for them.
I will. I have no problems with it. I will.
So we have we have Paul and Pastor Dirty here. So going back to Shannon Sharpe, you know more about the Shannon Sharpe incident than I do.
Okay, so initially I didn't.
Okay.
Initially I just heard, because I really am not a sports follower. I know everybody's booing me. And I heard, rumblings of it, and then I said, all right, let me just find out, because I knew we were going to do this. So let me look. So I read an article. The article I read was about, and I don't remember the names. I apologize.
Okay.
But it was about the woman that he had a long-term relationship with.
Gabriella Zuniga.
Maybe that's it.
Zuniga. Zuniga.
Really?
Zuniga.
Really?
Z-U-N-I-G-A. Zuniga.
I'm just gonna leave that right there.
All right,
and
Gabriella.
move
Okay,
on.
we got it.
But she, talked about some physical, emotional, and sexual abuse in that relationship, and how he was very demanding of her, very possessive of her. And I think she said that she was dating him and someone else at the time, and he didn't want her to date anyone else at the time but him. However, he was having numerous relationships with other women. So
That's fair.
it got very ugly. Again, ignoring you and rolling my eyes for people who can't see me. It got very ugly. She charged him with rape. I think the court case went on back and forth, and she figured out that she was not going to be able to sustain it financially. And I think the two of them talked, and she dropped the lawsuit.
So she charged him with rape years ago.
Years ago.
It couldn't be too long ago because she's, 21?
No, this is not the person. This
Oh, the
this
first
woman,
person.
the first person.
Oh, okay,
the
not
first
Gabriella.
person. Not
Okay.
no, the first
Okay.
person. This woman is older.
Okay.
So I'm not sure how old she was when they were in a relationship. I didn't get that part. But
Okay.
so to me, it says that you have a consistent. I won't. This is consistent in your relationships
in behavior.
and yeah,
Okay.
your behavior is consistent in these relationships. So that was the first thing I gathered from that, and then it was the younger girl.
Okay.
It's a little bit scary.
So this is what I got, and I didn't make this up. So Shannon Sharp, former NFL star, he's an NFL star, and prominent sports commentator, and he has his own show,
Right. Right.
Club Shay Shay, and what's the other one called? Nightcap.
Yeah.
Okay. They're currently embroiled in a significant legal controversy. So back in April of this year, Gabriella Zuniga, a 21-year-old OnlyFans model, filed a
OnlyFans.
a $50 million civil lawsuit against
Yikes.
Shannon Sharp in Nevada, alleging sexual assault, battery, and emotional distress during a relationship that began when she was 19 and he was 56.
Jeez.
So he categorically denied the allegations, labeling the lawsuit a shakedown. Might be part of that too. His legal team released explicit text message showing a consensual relationship initiated by her. However, her attorney contends these messages predate the alleged assaults and are intended to distract from the core issues. So here we are today.
Here we are today.
Yes. So we're gonna talk about his situation and then kind of relate it to generalized people. So now let's throw it out here. Any of you guys here, would you date someone who's much younger? What's your lowest and highest? What's your age range? And give us your age as well. Go ahead, P. Diddy.
No, you don't call nobody that on this show. No,
All right, Paul.
no.
Okay, so I'm 52.
Okay.
I think my lowest would be 40.
Okay. 40. And the highest?
I would say about 58.
Okay. 40 to 58.
Okay.
Yes.
And he's 52.
Okay.
Okay. I think Pastor Dirty, he's
60,
typing.
she's fine.
All right, so Pastor Dirty. All right, I'm just reading his messages. He's funny. He's 48. He said he'll go as low as 21.
21.
21.
Okay.
Okay.
They have to be able to drink. And then he said he says that's sexually.
That's a little sketchy.
That's strictly sexually. And then in a serious relationship, they got it. He'll go as low as 30.
Okay.
What's your cap?
The oldest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me see. What about you? Oh,
Me?
wait, he said his age range is for serious relationship is 30 to 100.
I ain't mad at you.
8 to 80.
I ain't mad at you. Oh my gosh.
All right,
You are
Lamb Chop,
hilarious.
what's yours?
Okay, so I'm 61.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say 45.
45.
Would
Okay.
be the lowest.
45 to
100. No, I ain't gonna. I'm gonna do an Anna Nicole. My next marriage is gonna be an Anna Nicole. He gonna be 99 and can't move.
99.
75.
75.
I'll say 75.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So mine is on a floating scale because it changes as you know.
Right,
obviously.
and depending on the person,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. So, going by what Pastor Dirty says, we're talking about in a sexual relationship versus a serious relationship. So in a sexual relationship, they have to be older than my kids.
That's not leaving a lot of room.
I'm 55.
That's not leaving a lot of
my
room.
son's 22.
That's still okay.
This is strictly sex.
Okay.
Right. And I thought about this because
We should have got Uncle Mike on this show. I swear.
But you gotta think about it, like, all right, so don't kill me for this, but
I am.
I remember if you look at the Playboy magazines, right? All the centerfolds had the information about the different, whatever, and they always had their age. Their ages were like in their 20s.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
I'm not saying that was right either.
yeah, I mean, can't get no writer.
So we basing it off of sexual and serious
Yeah,
relationships.
sexual and serious.
Well, my scale changed on sexual relationships.
Wait a minute, he said what?
He said 40.
Okay, 40 was your lowest. That was a serious relationship.
Serious relationship.
Okay, sexual. I think. Oh, sexual. What'd you say?
27.
27. Okay.
You know what? Now that you think about it, he's like, they got to be older than my kid. Okay, well, 45 is older than my kids.
Okay.
But that's close. I might have to raise that age.
They can't be friends with my kids. If you
No,
look this-
absolutely
yeah.
not. Absolutely not. That is just all parts of wrong.
So my
Jada
cat-
Pinkett Smith.
My cap is probably, I'm going to say, and sexually, probably 68.
Okay.
It depends, and it
It depends.
on
Yeah,
how-
it always depends on the person.
I've seen some nice ones at that old age, but
Right.
in a serious relationship, I don't think I have a cap. It depends on how youthful they feel,
Right.
so
Right.
And how mature they are, because you can put a number on something and doesn't
yeah.
necessarily mean that they're mature.
That's true. In both
That
scales
is
too.
the
You can have
truth.
a mature younger person,
Right.
and that, I guess that would be different for a woman.
Yeah, because it take
yeah.
y'all a little bit to catch up to us sometimes. So it's just like
That's what they say.
yeah, and it depends because like you said, there are some mature people at a certain age, and some not so much.
So this is coming in from Pastor Dirty. He said he's had relations with 2 blind chicks. And he wants to say that even though his was they have to drink, his daughters are 28 and 30, so he's going lower than his daughters.
Yikes!
That's why they call him Pastor Dirty.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not bringing anybody home younger than my children. I'm just not doing it.
Yeah.
Well,
I would, as they're getting older. So I think my young limit is going to raise slightly. My older ones will raise a little bit further.
Right. Yeah. No.
But then again, that's easy to say because as I get older, it makes me think, or anybody think that a 20-year-old 20 is going to want an old ass man. So
she might want that pension.
Right.
She might want that
man,
pension.
they ain't getting none. Man.
I'm just picking because I'm a get your own girl. So I pick on him about the pension, but
Yeah.
no,
That's for the-
you got to
for the
bring
young-
something in.
All right, getting back to the Shannon Sharp thing.
Now, how old was he when he started this relationship with her?
56, and she was 19, so she's 21 now, and he's 58, I guess.
My father and uncles and most of the men around in my family would have kicked his ass.
Well, if that was their
Period. If
their
it was
relative?
me,
Okay.
if it was me at 19 and him at 50 something, no matter who he was, that it would have been a fight.
Okay, can I put you on the spot for a second?
Sure.
What's the oldest
mean I'm gonna
person
answer you.
you ever dealt with? The oldest in difference of age?
10 years.
10 years. Okay.
Yeah, 10
Okay.
years. And that was a fight at my house.
Really? 10 years?
Yes.
You was much younger.
I
then.
was 17.
17. Well, yeah, that would have been a little bit of fight.
that was a fight.
Yeah, it would have been my daughter 17.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even been a fight.
Right. That was a fight at my house.
It would have been an indictment.
And it didn't last. It didn't last.
Indictment.
It would have been an indictment.
It didn't last.
So okay, now
I don't think I've ever been out of the 10-year range.
I have.
Yeah.
I have. I've been out of the 10-year range. Going older, I'm not sure. It might have been like maybe 3.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can think of. But with the Shannon Sharp thing, I think the age thing came in was more critical or criticized because he's famous. That was one.
No, we
Right.
heard about it. We heard
about
about it because he was famous, and I think it's some of that going on. And I'm not going to approve of it if he's famous or not.
Okay, so Bill Belichick,
Yeah, I've heard the name.
Yeah.
You've heard the name?
Coach.
Yes.
Coach.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you hear it?
He's getting ready to marry somebody. Yeah, that's just a hot
Yeah.
mess.
but
No.
but nobody's making a big deal about that, right?
That's what I was gonna say.
Or
the fact that
the team
Shannon
owner.
Sharp is black.
Okay, so that's what I'm getting
It's
at.
magnified.
Is there a difference because the celebrity of the person is a celebrity, and maybe because of a certain race, because he's black and she's a little white girl, right? Now,
Yes.
Pastor Dirty mentioned.
So both of these women were white, because the first woman that I read about
Yes.
was white too. Okay.
Yes. Pastor Dirty mentioned it like celebrities. Robert De Niro just had a baby. He's ancient. Al Pacino, same thing.
But how old are their wives?
Well, they having babies. They can't be. In
They
there.
can still be in their 40s.
Yeah,
They
that's
were
a
like
30,
30 something
35.
years old.
Okay, so that's like almost a 50-year difference. But there's no problem.
Yeah.
Nobody.
And then we didn't mention Leo DiCaprio.
Yeah, he likes them young too.
Well, he says, if I can recall, that he'll date them up until they turn 25. Then they have to.
Yeah, he likes them young too.
Yeah, and
That's-
like I said,
that's a mess.
I don't blame anybody for that. You like what you like. I think more or less it depends on your culture and maturity. So just in my experience, people from say the U.S. they mature less, or let me say not, or slow at a slower rate than
Okay.
people from other countries, for whatever reasons. So, at 14 or 15 or 16, getting into the teens, I'm not saying like with an older person, but, they're out there, still playing with Barbies and, doing hair and whatever, girly stuff, right? Young girly
Who
stuff.
are? Who?
Girls here at 14, 15.
What girls?
Girls here in the U.S. No?
What girls have you seen? I'm questioning that because I ain't seen them. I don't. They may be out there, but I have not seen them.
All right, so my daughter at 14, 15, she wasn't she was still doing kid stuff. She
Okay.
wanted to go to the to the amusement park and do
Okay.
stuff like that. Where if you have women in other cultures, they're in there taking care of kids. Maybe even not their own, but they're taking care of kids. They're farming. They're
Okay.
cooking. They're doing a lot of different things. So their level of maturity or the
It's just
introduction
different.
into adulthood is different. So I think that makes a big difference. But like, good. That's
I mean, biblically, women have been having babies as young as 12.
Right.
So, if that's what we're going to base things on. This is my issue with people with men and women, really, who date younger men. My brain is like, what are you getting from that and why? Like, I mean, if it's a sexual relationship and all y'all doing is bumping uglies, okay.
Right.
But if you're talking about having a long-term relationship with somebody, she 19, you 56. She ain't seen nothing yet.
Well, in his case, I don't think he was thinking about him and her having a long-term relationship.
Still,
Because one, I guess he wouldn't have had the other relationships outside of that, and two, I'm pretty sure. Well, I'm not gonna say I'm pretty sure. I think it would have made a difference because he wouldn't have gotten not an Instagram, OnlyFans model. I think more in his case was more or less, I'm feeding my physical needs, and I have
Yes.
control.
that's
Sexual
it.
control.
He
That's
has
control.
control.
Yes.
That's it. He has control, and I feel like that's the main reason for you getting with somebody that's that much younger than you. You have an amount of control that an older woman is not going to put up with.
Correct. And also, this is another thing too, not so much on the negative part, but as you get older, women also, you are more set in your ways.
That's true.
So
I'm not going to deny that.
We can't come in and say, with a person who's older, say, well, this is how I want my life to be. And you already been, like, say you're 60 or 55 or whatever, and you're not trying to change what you've grown
Exactly.
accustomed to for your entire life.
And you are more comfortable with telling somebody you can take that elsewhere.
So Pastor Dirty says the U.S. matures slow, even biblically, but 1940s in the U.S. they were getting married at 12 and 13 and having kids. That is a fact. There's a fact. So
Agreed.
I guess we have to separate the physical part from the societal part, where society changes over time. Physical part doesn't change. That's
Okay.
never going to change. So you're looking at going back from the biblical era up to here. The physical part never changes. It's the societal part, and I guess the location, where you are. But So
It gives me the ick. I don't care. I don't, you can say it's this and that's changed and this did that and that did the other thing. It gives me the ick.
okay, so this question is for you, Lamb Chop. Why are older men dating younger women? Why is it more socially acceptable than older women dating younger men?
I'm gonna stand on my soapbox. You know what I'm gonna say, because it's just another way of giving women the blues and holding women down. And it's okay for men to do. That it's true. It's a patriarchal system, and that's true. So men can and will do whatever they want or whatever they can get away with.
So now here's a little thing I want to throw in there. Now, for a man, I think women are attracted to older men, even younger ones.
True.
Whereas a younger man is less attractive to an older woman.
True.
So it could have that dynamic could play a huge part.
And it
might
might be because society has told him that once she got a certain age, then she's not viable anymore.
Well, that too. Yeah, yeah. Also, if you was to have an older man and you're a younger woman and you wanted to have a family, the older man can still have children.
Right.
So
right.
I think some things are naturally created and some of them are more, mental.
And, they will look at it as he's a little more established than I am right now. And, that's a big part of it too.
And then I guess in your part, you were saying maybe the daddy issue comes in as well.
Yeah. Again, giving me the ick. Giving me the ick.
Definitely comes into play.
Yeah. Now, what do you think, Paul? What do you think why is it more acceptable to have an older man, younger woman relationship than a older woman, younger man relationship?
And I have to agree with that. It's just how society is built upon, where men determine the rules. They set the precedents, and so it's a hypocritical system. We know that. So men typically look at it as changing out a car. Okay. So after some tread and some miles on a car, they want to trade for a newer, shinier model. So and that's accepted. That's actually praised in society.
So let me ask you something. Do you think maybe it could be, going back to what Lamb Chop said, that a man, when you come into those relationships, a man at a certain age is really more established, whereas people make sure they want to say the man should be stable, the man should be financial.
Society thing,
right? And a society thing that that you should be able to have your own home, you should be able to take care of business, you should whatever. Where they don't put those same requirements on a woman. A woman's coming in to be true. A nurturer, right?
Right.
So I think that kind of sets up the way society accepts the age differences. Now, I think in modern times now, the cougar, as they say, right, is more accepted now because throw a nickname on there and you win.
Oh yeah,
not really, because gold diggers. I'm not a fan of that one.
Well, that's true. Well, a cougar, I don't think anything negative comes out of the being called a cougar, except maybe
or MILF.
MILF. Yeah, MILFs, GILFs.
Don't look over here. Don't even. Again with the eye roll.
So, but it does. So,
I love me some MILFs.
All right, so, but again, when I don't know when that term came out, but when it did, that was the thing,
y'all
right?
Grabbed onto it.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
society grabbed onto it. Yeah.
And I think being realistic about everything is always going to be a double standard because and not because it's wrong. I think because it's supposed to be. I really do. There is. We're not built the same. Okay. So double standard. should you go out and take the trash out and go out and do the heavy lifting?
I don't
and,
want to take the trash out.
Right.
But I will bring home the money.
Right.
And
But-
pay somebody to take the trash out.
But a guy might not necessarily want to do all that stuff either, but he's going to do it because he don't want you to do it. He feels that you shouldn't do it.
Okay.
So it's always going to be a double standard, and I think some of them is rightfully so. And I'm not talking about like, you know, where we work the same job and I get paid more than you.
Right,
You know,
right.
That's crazy.
Listen,
Let's be clear. Let's be clear. MILF. What's the other term? Cougar. All those terms. White societal terms. You know. I mean,
or at least male
Only-
societal terms.
well, let's think of white male societal terms. let's be clear, because, like I said, all these different like for instance, like Elvis Presley,
Jerry
you
Lee
know,
Lewis,
Yeah, they should have been in
Jerry
that
Lee
conversation with
Chuck Berry.
R. Kelly and but
Hugh Hefner, all of, they were praised, and
Yeah.
the thing about it is that older men, they would say, well, this is giving me the fountain of youth, or it's making me feel alive, or it's making me feel young, and they were being praised for that.
Right.
You're right.
Right.
You're right.
But you know, they also, I think in their areas it was legal. He was in Tennessee.
Okay.
And then I don't know where Jerry Lewis was in where. Wait, but he both in Tennessee?
I don't know.
Probably Alabama.
Jerry Lewis has a club in Tennessee, then in Memphis.
Okay.
So I've been there. But all right, let me read something. This is coming in from Pastor Dirty.
Oh boy.
Trigger warning. All right, so he's saying, unfortunately, older women are sometimes unfairly labeled or sexualized when dating younger men. So I guess that's the negative part about that. High-profile couples like Priyanka Chopra and Nick Jonas,
Yep.
or Gabrielle
Oh,
Union
yeah,
and Dwayne
right.
Wade,
Yeah.
have helped normalize that the older.
Right.
So I didn't know Gabrielle Union was older than Dwayne.
I
Wade.
didn't either. I didn't either.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't either. And who started it? I mean, I can't say that Demi Moore started it, but you know, when she started dating Ashton Kutcher, that was a big deal.
But it
Oh,
went
that's
way
right.
back then
That's
because
right.
you got to look at Elizabeth Taylor.
Oh yeah, she
Right?
yeah.
But he says either way we have double standards, and he said Chuck Berry pissed on folks before R. Kelly.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Don't Chuck Berry.
Yes, he did. Had some glory holes going on. He had a whole bunch of nonsense, foolishness and nonsense.
Oh, this is
And the
hilarious.
difference is that we didn't have the information
Right,
network.
that's
like
true.
behind the scenes, they were probably saying, "Hey, don't you go anywhere with him. You know, don't do that."
You know,
but
they were saying that also about Bill Cosby back in the day.
Right.
But it was accepted back
Right.
then. You know, you go to a party, these are things that happen.
Right.
So you know, society changes over time, and then, you know, but some things are just bad regardless of what age.
right,
You know.
agreed. Some things are just bad regardless. So
Now,
yeah.
speaking of Chuck Berry and Gabrielle Union and all these other people, how much of a role does money play?
Big
Or
one.
status, money or status,
big one.
or fame play in the age gap relationship. So
Big one.
I believe that's the biggest determining factor.
the biggest. Okay. Okay. I would have to agree.
And I clearly, like I said before, know that these things are happening on an everyday level, but you don't hear about them, you don't see it because, you know, I can't sue
We're not famous.
the neighbor down the street for $50 million. You know.
And let me
So-
say, he offered her, was it 30 or 20, something like that? She greedy.
10 million.
10 million? Still.
Okay,
Still.
so
If you going to get money.
he offered her to settle, the 10 million to settle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it really wasn't a bad move because he had more to lose regardless because of all the things he had going on with the ESPN
Right,
and his show.
right,
So,
right.
you know, I think that'll be a determining factor for me if I had to decide, you know, what was her reasoning for, or were you really the manipulated young, you know, impressionable, innocent woman? I don't think so. That's just my opinion on that. But,
Okay.
you know, especially if you're doing OnlyFans.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. Clearly, I wouldn't say that she was innocent. I am not gonna say that she's innocent, but I will say that there could have been all of those things: physical, sexual, emotional abuse going on. Now, like I said, if it was the neighbor, would you be suing him for $50 million?
Right.
Probably not.
Probably not.
But I feel like you need to say what happened. You need to tell people what happened. People need to know what happened. Now, I don't know what to do beyond that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what happens beyond that?
Okay. So at what point does the age difference imply a power imbalance? Like, so what's normal? What would you say is normal? Like, as far as the age difference, man to woman?
It's hard to say that because, like you said, the MILF could have all of the things.
Right.
You know, she's working, she's established, she has her own home, she has her own car, she can have all the things. And that could be a power move for a 25-year-old who is just coming out in the world and just trying to figure out who he is as a man.
Right.
You know, so that could be a power move.
But we're also driven by different things too. So with a guy, it might be different today, but a guy is not really driven by like, okay, she has a whole bunch of money and she has a guy is driven by mainly sex. She looks good.
Okay.
I want that. I want to, whatever. And if she has all the extra things, that's a bonus. But a woman, I think, is driven by more or less, what do you have to offer?
Right. Well, we talked about that. So
Yeah.
it depends on what generation she from.
Yeah, that's
Because
true.
my generation of women was out getting their own.
Right.
Because, we saw our mother struggle to get their own. And we came up with the idea that you are an independent woman and you can have these things and you can get these things on your own. So, and partly that was just based on the fact that you couldn't even get your own credit card without your husband saying that it was okay. So
That's hilarious to me though.
yeah, the whole bunch, your own apartment, your home, all of those things. So it depends on what generation, I think.
Girl, what
that
you
they were
doing
in.
out here by yourself?
But yeah, I mean, at 25, he's still trying to figure it out. And
Right.
she is guiding him, and I don't care what anybody say. She's guiding him.
She-
I don't know where to, but she's guiding him. And I guess that could be for the reason. Well, really not, because maybe the man don't care where she going.
Well, yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
he doesn't care. Maybe he's just like you said. I got all my own stuff. You look good. You pretty. Sit next to me, so everybody can think
Right.
I'm the man.
Right.
So I don't know.
So, all right, let me frame it this way. A woman's 20, let's say 25, and the man is 32, 7-year difference.
Okay.
Normal.
Seven's not that
Seven not
bad.
bad.
Seven's not that bad unless you in high school and he in college.
Right.
That's,
The younger you are, the
Right,
more realistic
right,
it-
right,
So
the funkier it
25
gets.
and 35. Would you
Okay,
say
that's not too
normal?
bad.
Okay.
That's not too bad.
25 and 40.
That's getting me
Now
uncomfortable.
you're getting it. Okay, so
getting
so
me
25 and 40
uncomfortable.
is 15 years difference.
Right.
Okay, now it's definitely is being noticed.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So let's say 25 and 55.
Yeah.
That's a 30-year difference.
Yeah, I'm not.
That's
feeling that.
you would say most people look at that. That's a power thing. They would assume that she or he has control over her.
Yeah.
Now, what if the guy was 25 and the woman was 55?
That's what I just said. I feel like
Different,
he's
right?
got it. She's guiding him. I don't think society is going to assume that. Maybe I don't know.
So you think that the woman would be controlling him if she was 55 and he was 25?
Yes,
Really?
I
Okay.
do.
Okay.
I do. I think it's something going on there. It's
Okay.
something, and I feel like with all of these humongous big age difference, it's something mental going on there that may not be healthy.
I would have figured if it was a 55-year-old woman with a 25-year-old guy, it was more or less she's getting her physical needs taken care of.
Agreed.
And in exchange for he's getting, some type of gift, or, you could drive my car.
Or you can just lay up here because I don't need you to do nothing else
Well, that could
and
be
play
too.
video games all day.
That's right.
Although
She got Madden 2025.
I'll buy you that PS5.
I don't know.
And
That's,
it also serves as the ego boost to the younger guy.
Yes.
Right.
I mean,
Yes.
just the fact that he's laying up with the older woman it definitely serves as an ego boost.
and to her too, because she could pull a younger guy.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Pastor Dirty says if one person controls most or all of the money, it can shift the balance of decision making, leading to dependency or control issues. Okay. Even in Shannon Sharp's situation,
Yeah.
obviously, she's making her money, he was making more.
Right.
So, but I
Right.
don't know if that will apply there. She says, well, hence when why guys when older don't care about paying for sex or the younger woman. Well, I guess that goes both ways. The older woman will say, "Shut up and open the PlayStation I got for you." And he says, "When I get home, your teeth better be brushed and your tongue wet."
You ain't right, Pastor Dirty.
So,
It is hilarious. That is hilarious.
well, and I'm gonna say I would agree with that too, as far as age differences. If you got a guy who's out here, doing not even really finding himself yet, and you have this woman who's offering them, stability, gifts, and and I said the sex is there,
Right.
Nobody who's
Right.
going to turn down. No young man's going to turn down
Right.
anything unless But yeah.
I mean, and let's be honest. She's probably hitting her peak at a certain age, and at that age, little boys. Well, I don't say little boys because he's a grown man at 25, can go like rabbits.
Okay.
So maybe everybody's needs are getting met.
Okay. Now, okay, I don't like that how that sounds, but
What do you mean you don't like how that sounds? Am I lying? Can
no, you're not
somebody tell
lying.
me I'm lying?
No, you're not
Somebody-
lying. You're not lying. But it comes to you start thinking about it, it's like I'm 50 something, and she's such and such, and she might want to go after that little rabbit,
Hey,
and that happens.
it happens.
And that 55-year-old woman, that 25-year-old guy, she might even have a husband that works at the bank, or whatever. You never know.
Who's 55 also and not going like a rabbit anymore? Is that what you saying?
Yeah.
Hey.
Now, can people really connect across large age gaps, or does one side always hold more emotional control?
Ooh, that's a deep one.
I could tell you this because I've dated women younger than me. I think you can connect.
Okay.
I think at certain points, it depends on the person, but I think at certain points, you find what's common,
Okay.
And will somebody have more control? Maybe, maybe not, but you might have the experience. You might, again, you're settled. Now, for a younger woman might want a guy who's more settled at this point instead of a guy who's around her age is still out there trying to chase,
Right.
whatever.
Right.
So I think you can connect those 20, 30 years. I think it depends on where you're starting at your 30 years. So,
Okay.
so a woman who's 20 and a guy who's 50, no,
Right.
because she's still pretty much a baby.
Right. Right.
Um,
And I feel like that 19-year-old and that 56-year-old is sex.
Right.
It ain't
Yeah.
nothing but sex.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You can't even. Tell me where you were when the World Trade Center went down. Like, yeah.
All right, so now going back into the different places, the cultural thing, right? So I asked a group of women, it was, I think, 10 of them. I asked a group of women, does age matter in a relationship?
Okay.
All right. These were women who are from Africa. Mm-hmm. Okay. It was 100% no.
Really?
100%.
I knew that.
Why?
Yeah. Because in their culture, they don't look at age. They look at more or less where you are. If you're a younger woman and you're in their position, their eyes is that, long as I know how to cook, long as I know how to take care of my husband, long as he's providing all these different things, the age doesn't matter. And I guess it might be too that maybe when in their society, maybe the older guys are still keeping up with the younger guys.
Maybe.
So
that begs the question: are these girls being groomed to only know how to clean, only know how to cook, only know how to make babies?
no, most of them, and I did ask some certain questions about, just in discussion. All of them are working.
Okay. Okay.
All of them are educated.
Okay.
So it didn't change when it comes to, and you would think it would, but it didn't change when it came to like this person is educated, this person is, or even the I guess the value system, not the value system. I'm talking about the money, that didn't matter.
Okay.
Is that you have to provide, whether you're 20 or 50, but they didn't care. So I thought that was
So
kinda
did you
interesting.
ask 10 women from the United States?
No, I did not ask the 10 women from the United States because I usually have these conversations with them anyway.
Okay.
On social media, and I really wanted to reach out to
Different
different places.
cultures,
Like,
okay.
I wanted to hit the 8. I just couldn't find 10 Asian women.
Gotcha.
so yeah, that was different.
I'm almost certain that if you asked 10 women from European countries, it probably would be the same thing.
Well, you know what? Thinking about it, I asked this some years ago. I think I was like 22, and the person I was talking to was from Germany, and she was 19. Well, she had a fiance, and the fiance was much older than her. And she's like, "Well, yeah, we have a 10-year engagement. I'm gonna go off to school, go to law school, and blah blah." And some years later,
A 10-year engagement?
they got married. She finished law school. They ended up getting married, had 2 kids.
Okay.
And they're still together. So, I think.
But she also had time to mature.
Well, yeah, but they were dating.
But then he's getting older
at 19.
too.
Yeah.
Right.
Matter of fact, there was another one. I knew a guy who was in the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was like 20 something, and she was like, young. She might have been like 16 something, whatever. But that was kind of what I got from it. It was like that was common. And the mother and the father, the parents knew about it, and they were okay with it.
Right.
They didn't have any reservations to age
Gotcha.
when it comes to that.
Gotcha.
So maybe here in the USA, we have more of a hang up with age.
Well, they do say that we have such a bigger hang up about sex than other countries.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had a conversation about that last night, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
When we were talking about traveling to different places in the world and how things are so much more common, even on the television. You can see like there's porn on television. They don't care. They don't say kids go to bed or
Right,
it's like
right,
okay, and
right.
they drink, and they even drink wine at dinner.
They do at
know?
a very young
Yes.
age.
Yeah.
At a very young
Yeah.
age. That is true. I don't know. I gotta say again, that whole 1956 thing gave me a big ick. It really, really did. And I was just like, oh, and what I got from the 2 articles and the YouTube thing I looked at was like, he wants to be in control. He wants to have a possession, and you only belong to me. Like, I can do whatever I want, but you only belong to me.
Okay, and that's not different from most guys, regardless of age or dynamics. Most guys want to have. And I'm not gonna say most guys. Many guys want to have that control. They want
Right.
to have that. You belong to me, and da 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 da. So I think where it comes in, getting back to the age difference, as somebody at a younger age and knowing that they're there for you because you have money, that's where you can get that because you have money. I'm pretty sure if he was the a 6th grade teacher and he
Right.
met her at the gym and she's 19 and she's making her money on OnlyFans, that wouldn't
She
be
ain't
a
even
matter.
gonna look at him twice.
Right.
Okay.
So I think that makes it.
Well,
big
so
difference in that.
fame comes in
Oh,
a
yeah.
big part of that.
Oh,
Fame comes in.
definitely.
What's
But-
that? It's a meme that said if 50 Shades of Grey, if he was lived in a trailer, we wouldn't be everybody wouldn't be talking about this. If he lived in
You're
a trailer,
right.
nobody would care. But he was this multi-billionaire, so it was a thing.
Same thing. Going back to Pretty Woman.
Right,
He was.
right. Right.
Hey, it happens.
Let me
Now,
let me throw something in there. What about these reports? We hear a lot of reports about these women, these older teachers
Mm-hmm.
who are having sexual relations with these younger students.
Mm-hmm. That gives me the ick also.
okay.
Yeah.
Now Now this is you and I. We're talking you and I, right?
Right.
When you hear about these things and you see the woman and like say the kid was 16, 17 or whatever, and the teacher was 40, 45 or whatever, what's the first thing that you think of when you hear about that? Now as a guy, the guy's a 16-year-old and the teacher is a 45-year-old. The first thing you think of, why'd he snitch?
Oh my God.
And the second thing is, man, I wish I had that situation with
Exactly. Those are the two
Yep.
things. Every guy's going to say, you told? Why'd you tell? Or where were they when I was in school? Right?
That's right.
And nobody's going to, have a I'm not. I didn't think she was a bad woman.
I mean, but that's a whole power dynamic too. It really, really is.
It
Whether
is.
you want to look at it or not, it's a whole power dynamic too. And the difference is they look at the woman as she's not well.
Right.
It is something mentally wrong with her, but they would never look at a man and say that.
He's a dirty man. He's
Right,
a,
right.
So I think now, since you mentioned the teacher thing, I guarantee you, if I was 16, 17, if I went back and thought about the teachers I had, if I had teachers that look like some of the teachers today,
You get on my nerves.
I'm on the honor roll.
That's true. That's true.
I wouldn't have a second thought about it. And I'm like, you play by the rules. Don't tell. If I was a guy, but I'm
So
saying,
you wouldn't consider that as rape?
I mean, by the law, yeah, it is rape.
Yeah.
But I ain't telling. Now, had it been my daughter versus my son, there's a different dynamic.
Fight you so bad.
You know, I'm
so
gonna
true.
put a hurt on the teacher. But if if my son, I'm like, let's talk this out. We have to talk about this.
Don't tell your mama.
Yeah, right.
But way to go, son. That's exactly what you gonna say.
Yeah, because if it's my son and my son comes home and tells me that, I wouldn't know how it went down.
Oh, I can't with y'all. I can't. I'm so outnumbered.
I gotta know how it went down, how to get to this. Like,
Exactly.
What happened?
But like every guy, when you hear about these stories come out, no, I haven't met that one guy outside. We're not talking about their own kids, but
Right.
not one guy that said, "Oh, she's wrong for that." The first initial
Right.
thing. We all know she's wrong for that, because it's common sense. But that's not the first 10 minutes of thought. It's like, oh, who told? So yeah, but yeah,
Sad,
it's
sad
always going to be
state of
different.
affairs.
It's always going to be different. Now, all right, so Aaliyah said age ain't nothing but a number. Because I shouldn't use her, but age
Yeah,
ain't
you
nothing but a
probably
number.
should not use her. Because I'm sure R. Kelly was
Well-
telling her that.
Well, he wrote the song.
Right,
did,
right.
He wrote
Right.
the song.
Well, but there's many women that do say that age ain't nothing but a number.
That's true.
Right? So
That's true.
does it make a difference if let's say somebody says it in the 20s versus the 40s?
Say that again.
Oh.
Say
Age
that again.
ain't nothing but a number. Does it make a difference if
If I'm 20 saying age ain't nothing but a
in
number.
their or like say their developmental age stage versus somebody who's 40 in their 40s?
It depends on who they saying it to.
Oh, I guess that makes a difference. But
I'm thinking if a 20-year-old, and I'm looking at it from a man perspective. If a 20-year-old woman is saying age ain't nothing but a number, she's looking at the man as someone who would take care of her, bring stability.
mhm.
A younger man, he's looking at it as, we gonna have sex. I'm being, and in reverse, if you look at it as like a 40-year-old woman, 40-year-old woman, age ain't nothing but a number. She's looking at, she has nothing to gain from a younger man except for sex. Same thing with the 40-year-old man. If he's saying age ain't nothing but a number, he's like, it's about sex because she's over the age of consent. So
Okay.
I just, I guess you're right. It's about sex and y'all not having a conversation. But at some point, I would like to have a conversation with somebody I'm with. And that,
That can hold a conversation.
yeah, at 19, I'm just going
All
to be
right.
like, so what did you eat today? Fruit Loops? Like, what did you, I don't know. Like, so, yeah.
You put sugar on your grits.
Like, I don't know.
So I was listening to a song today. Actually, this thing, cause I've been this rotation by Steely Dan.
I
Right.
love Steely Dan.
So
Okay.
there's a song called "Hey
Hey
19."
19, yes.
He was like,
Yes.
"No, we can't dance. We
We
can't
can't talk.
you
We can't do nothing.
He said,
do none of that.
you don't know who Aretha Franklin is,
Right.
so we can't talk."
Right. Yeah, that's another thing. Like, he is listening to music that I will get in my car and be like, what the hell is
Right.
this?
Right.
And why is it so loud? Can you turn this down? So it's just like, what? Yeah, I guess you're right. It is all about sex. That's the bottom line. It is all about sex.
All right. Pastor Dirty says external pressure with age gaps are tough. Some couples face judgment or assumptions about control, money, and intent. We all
Right.
do it, and that's
Right.
true. We
That's
just
true.
made the
Yep.
assumptions, right? Despite race, we listen to they want you for the money, or why are they interested in you? They don't have shit. So that's the pressure. You know,
Right.
if you was your friend, you had a female friend of the same age as you, and she says, well, yeah, I'm dating a guy who's he's 20, whatever, and you would say, well, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Girl,
would
you're
say
going to
to
get
her,
arrested. Seriously, my first question would be why?
right, okay,
Why?
exactly, why? What can he do for you?
Yeah, why?
Okay.
Like, what is going on there?
Right.
Like, what? Like, why are you doing that?
So, but a guy, I was talking to another guy. He said he was dating somebody who was 20. You know, it wouldn't have nothing to do with, you know, why. It was
Your
like,
friends would ask no questions.
they would ask questions. They would joke
Okay.
about it, but they were, because it's some people I know, we joke about, you know, they
Right.
like younger girls or whatever. But they're not judging as far as like saying, you know, why you messing with her? She's too young. You know, we already know what the situation is.
Okay.
You know, so it's nothing really to
Oh
question.
no,
about
we
it.
gonna judge.
Yeah.
We gonna judge. And then once we see him, we might be like, oh, that's why you dating him. Oh, okay. You know, but yeah,
So-
I'm gonna ask why. I'm
So
telling you now.
the status
I'm
of
gonna
makes a
ask
difference.
why.
Okay.
A whole lot of things make a difference, and I still at 61 might still have the ick. Like you 20, you 20. I am 61.
Hey.
Yeah.
So we see a lot of stuff. Like my perspective from this came out of social media. I didn't see all the details or
Okay.
hear all the details. It came from the people making commentary and the comedians joking.
Right.
Shannon Sharp. Right. So how does the public's opinion change when relationships are played out on social media?
I think I think they change a lot.
So
I
we
think
got
they change a lot.
the Jada Pinkett Smith
Ugh, that
and
was
Will
so
Smith
gross.
thing, right? She dated, or she had a entanglement with
Right.
her son's
friend, which was so gross and wrong.
Entanglement.
But
Entanglement.
But
Entanglement,
as a
right.
guy, I think more guys were more, you know, they were more critical about her stepping out on him instead of the age difference. So it was like, oh, but that's your son's friend.
Yeah, like
But if he wasn't your son's friend, all right, no biggie.
that crossed so many lines for
It
me.
did.
It
Well,
crossed so
I
many
think
lines for me.
for me, the biggest line that was crossed was it was your son's friend. As far as her, I don't know how old Jada Pinkett Smith is. I'm assuming she's in her 40s.
She ain't 20.
Yeah, and the guy is 20. You know, but I think they had a different dynamic there where they brought him into the fold because they were supposed to be helping him going through some problems. So it was almost
That's
like
even worse.
exactly. So that made it bad for me.
That makes you a predator.
Yes. And a female, which usually females are not looked at as predators.
But that
So,
makes you a predator.
yes.
I didn't even know that part. I didn't
Yes.
even know that he had joined the family.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes it worse.
He was part of the family.
Now you mentioned earlier, Paul, that Brittany Renner.
Renner, yes.
She's a influencer.
Yes.
Okay.
What-
So
Brittany, yes. Go ahead.
this is the thing I was talking about clarity versus clout. Was Shannon genuinely curious, or was the interview set up for shock value? That was talking about like with him and his young, because remember the whole thing with Monique. Monique was saying, telling him,
Yeah, and I
Stay in your
saw
own
that
age range, right?
they played a little clip, but they played a clip of a couple of celebrities saying to him, "You like them young, leave them young girls alone,"
Right.
that kind of thing. It was Kat, it was Monique, it was a couple of other people. Like, so he has a history of dealing with younger women.
Okay.
So, and people are out there knowing that.
so it's not
They know that.
he has a history. A lot of them,
Yes,
the vast
agreed.
majority of
Agreed.
them. I think what pretty much brought him in the spotlight was only because of this particular incident.
Okay.
And I guarantee you, like a lot of the guys that's out there, they're not commenting on it because
Right.
they know it happens and
Right.
it's common.
Right.
Every superstar, every musician that goes on tour from the 50s on up
You're right.
had groupies that they didn't ask the age.
Nope.
They knew they were groupies and whatever. So
And is that a thing? Do men like generally not ask their age? Because I swear, if some guy hollers at me, I will look at him and be like, "Boy, you my damn son's age. Let me just, no."
So for me, I wouldn't. With the age thing that would come up with me, if I, because you won't typically ask somebody's age, because one is kind of like you don't ask a woman's age, but where the question will come in is what brought me to think
that
about
you were
asking her
Oh,
age,
okay,
right?
okay.
So
Yes.
if you're
She said last week she graduated from high school.
well, yeah, that's
That's why you was like, wait, what? How old are you?
but then like if you having a conversation or if she approaches you, and certain mannerisms or certain things that she does, say, you know what? Oh, she kind of young. Just because you really can't tell a lot of times by the look, because especially with certain women, they look young than much younger than what they are.
Right.
Now, here's my celebrity crush, right? Now I'm gonna forget her name because I'm about to say it. Jasmine Crockett.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I was saying to somebody that
That's your celebrity crush?
that's who I like. Yes, Jasmine Crockett.
He sounds surprised. Are you surprised?
Right. And
Because I thought you would have said something else. I'm surprised though, but I get it.
oh no,
get
I
it.
love her. I love her. So, but somebody was saying to me that because she's young. I'm like, she's not that young.
Yeah, she's not that young.
So when I had to look it up, you really can't tell by the way, especially black women, you can't tell. So she's like
Right.
40 something, 40 something. I was like, nah, she good.
Right.
Whatever. So I don't try to put no guilt on me.
Oh, yeah, she right. She right in that. age
She's striking range.
right
Now,
She
if
striking range, Paul.
even if she was in her 20s, okay, I don't care because one, just by her position, her status, she's
And
a
her
certain,
intelligence.
and her intelligence, she can hold her
Sure,
own.
yes.
Right.
So yeah, you gotta think about things like that.
Yeah.
Now, in your part, that's a little different. So you have more to consider, I guess.
And
Yeah, I ain't trying to see my
also-
sons in jail. Let's start there, because my sons
and then-
ain't having it.
And then also for me, I'm a very creative person, so I base it on like people who write, do like very social commentary posts.
Okay.
Even if they're not in the age range that I'm in, I can tell their maturity. I can tell their intelligence level, and to me, that's attractive. Now,
I'm the same way.
Okay.
I'm the same way.
Right.
I value intelligence. Now, back in the day,
Yes.
we used to say, what was the late girl's name? She thought buffaloes had wings.
Oh, you talking about Jessica Simpson,
Jessica
who is
Simpson.
not as dumb as she played.
But her whole
Right,
persona on
right.
TV, when that was coming out, everybody was like, "Oh my God, that's the one for us," because yeah, we had conversations about that because at a younger age, you always thought that okay, well,
As long as she's pretty, it doesn't matter.
yeah, and you can get over on her, but when you
Oh.
start getting older, you be like, can
I know all your tricks, sir.
Can you do the taxes or can you it makes a difference, but if your intent is just strictly sex,
Right. It doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, did you hear the conversation that she recorded, which makes me
I
think?
didn't.
Okay,
I
so
didn't.
she had a recording of him talking to her, and she kept saying, "You're just trying to manipulate me," and da, da, da. He said, "If you use that word one more time, I'm gonna choke the shit out of you." Something along those lines, right?
That's not funny.
She
I'm
set him
sorry.
up. She set him
that's
up.
not funny.
Exactly. So in his particular situation, to me, this is my opinion, not of this podcast, but this is my opinion. She set him up because she was like, "Oh, this is a payday, and
That's right.
I'm recording this because you let all that go too, and you still found favor in it afterwards. Then you started recording it, then you come with all that, and
And
obviously,
that's my thing. Why are you recording your conversation unless there's an intent there?
exactly. So
A shakedown.
yes,
Yeah.
and if it was me, a little bit different. You record me, I'm not a famous person or anything like that. So there's no intent to try to take down this person because I'm gonna get all his money. But him,
And you can't say that he didn't do these things,
Right.
But you also have to question like her motives for
Right.
recording,
and also, you might go along. So here's the thing too. All right. Oh, he choked me. I know many women who will say choke me, or you
They
might
love
have that. Yeah, you might have that dynamic in there that's how you do. Or
Okay,
you
but
play a certain rule.
I'm gonna jump in on that.
Go ahead.
And just be like, he could have done all of those things, and she could have gone along with it out of fear.
Could be.
I gotta put that in there.
Could be.
I gotta
Could
put
be.
that in there because when you are in that power play,
But I think,
and he's that dynamic, dominating person,
but I think
it
that
could have
lawsuit,
been out of fear.
but it came out a lot earlier, only because
Maybe not.
only because of who he is, and
Maybe
and
not.
now everybody's jumping out of the woodwork trying to get a payday.
Maybe not.
So
Now, personally, me, I'm just gonna say it like this. Me, I don't see nothing sexy or sexually attractive about losing breath, losing air. um, so, but I know a lot of women who they love that.
because
love that.
they like being controlled. So
Yes.
even as a young age, her being 19 or whatever, and she got with him at a gym or whatever, and maybe she's one of those who like people who want to take control. And I've seen people's status on Facebook where they said, if I want to make these decisions myself, I stay single. Or in their post they make it, they articulate it very well that they want somebody who's going to take control. And that's just
Right.
on the outside. You don't know what happens behind doors. So
Submissive.
yeah. So
Yes.
that's something that to be considered. But I hope whatever happens with his situation, I hope everybody's treated fairly, both in public and privately. And because I would hate for if that's not the case with them, that he has to pay out all these millions and his career is affected by
Now-
that, or her, if she was this victim, and
And we're not believing her.
Correct.
Because
Right.
that puts all victims
Right.
in the
Now-
crosshairs.
Now, these allegations or accusations, these are not of the criminal nature, are they?
well, it's civil complaint, not criminal complaint.
Okay.
Which
Okay, so the reason why I say that is because the reality of it is this: whether he has to pay money or not, okay, it's going to die over. He may not. The reality is this: is that the nightcap and Club Shay Shay still doing major numbers. He may not be back on ESPN because I know they was going to offer him his own show on ESPN. That may be shelved for a little bit, but the reality is that after the smoke clears,
Yep.
that'll
that
be okay.
Yep.
that's why I asked, was it a criminal?
No,
or
it's not.
civil?
It's not a criminal case. It's a civil case, and actually, it could be a criminal case by what she was saying. So, which also brings up why would you, if you were such a victim, why, and you had the opportunity to do a criminal case with restitution, why not go that route?
Well, I'm going to tell you what the first woman said that I was reading. She said that she knew that he had people in very powerful places and that she could call, she could complain, she could file. I think at one point she did file a police report. And
Okay.
at one point they did like not have him on a couple of shows
Right.
until, like Paul said, the smoke cleared.
Okay.
And then the smoke cleared and nobody talked about it anymore. And it was done and over with. And he went on with his celebrity life.
Okay, I can see that. Well, you said filed a police report.
Yeah.
But in a case where, like, even with Jay-Z, when that lady tried to pull him in there, he was like, well, if what you say is true, file the criminal case, because you're
Right,
not getting a red
right.
cent from me.
Right.
So I think, to me, on the outside, that's a telling tale when it comes to that. But, like I said, who knows Who knows?
I don't know. I just want. This is my soapbox again.
Okay.
All right. I just want women, men, whoever is being sexually assaulted, and you're filing these charges, please be real.
Yes.
Please do not lie on
Yes.
people. Please do not
Yes.
set people up. Please do not think that, I'm doing this because I'm going to get this big payday, because it is just putting everybody who has suffered
Right.
in the crosshairs. And this is probably why women have such a hard time with,
Reporting it.
with reporting it and with people believing them.
Right.
Don't accuse somebody of doing something that they didn't do, because it's just hurting all of us.
Right.
So I'm down off my
Now-
soapbox now.
Now, I would assume, I'm just assuming that this may be a segue to another episode that touches on the Cassie and Diddy situation.
Oh, you know what? I did want to talk about that, because since the trial is going on, there's a lot of stuff that comes up that you can actually start picking, and
Okay, so we could do
there's
that.
a wealth of stuff that
I
comes out.
I haven't been following it because it's
wow.
just so bad.
It
It's
is
just
wild.
so bad. It is so bad, and I have not been following it, but I will catch up so we can do another cast.
Also, I want to have an episode dealing with sexual assault. We
Okay.
talked about that before.
Yeah.
So we want to get some experts, and definitely in that. So for, to reach people who may have been a victim of sexual assault, and also to talk to our young people to say, hey, this is not acceptable. And if you do this,
Right.
we want to educate people at the same time. So that's going to be coming down the line too. And there's another one that's kind of
And another one.
that kind of touches on what we're talking about today. Not so much,
Right.
age and sexual assault. So it's
Right.
kind of like the segue in there. But yeah, it was a good episode, I think. Good commentary. So we need a word number
of the
for it.
day.
Yeah.
Paul, would you like to give us a word of the day?
Word of the day. Yes, I give you a word of the day. This is my quote. This is the original quote.
Okay.
Okay. It's just what I use. It's what I tell my women friends. Okay. Allow me to be your serotonin in the daytime and your melatonin at night.
Wait a minute. But actually, put that phrase down there.
I'm not right
Just
You know,
put serotonin.
and melatonin.
And melatonin.
Okay.
that's the original quote that I'm having to come out on my online store, right?
All right, really? So what? Say that again. Allow me to be your serotonin.
Serotonin. Doing it
Serotonin
there.
in the daytime and your
Your
melatonin at night.
Okay. We'll talk about that later.
That's a T-shirt. That is a T-shirt. You need to get that
Yes.
printed.
Yeah, it's already printed up. It's
All
already
right.
printed up.
All right. Well, thank you guys who came in and gave us
Thank
your
you.
input on social media, and here and our guests, Pastor Dirty
Fast and dirty.
and Paul. I'm not going to give him your nickname.
Thank you, Paul. Please don't.
Hey, no problem.
He does have a nickname, but I'm not going.
Thank you.
put it out
I'm
there.
so scared.
And it's a childhood name.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I feel a little better.
All right. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you, family, for listening to the latest episode of Hot Topics. As usual, listen, like, share, subscribe. Ta.